All right, let's set the scene. It's February 19, 2026. And on this day, a 20-year drought in U.S. women's figure skating didn't just end, it came to an absolutely stunning and unforgettable conclusion. We're talking about Alysa Liu, a skater who had already retired and then came back to the sport completely on her own terms to grab that Olympic gold medal.
And, well, that was it. That was her immediate, unfiltered reaction, shouted right into the camera just moments after her routine. You know, it just perfectly captures the raw emotion of it all, and that casual, joyful confidence that really defined this incredible win.
Now, to really get the weight of this moment, you have to understand this number. 20 years. For 2 entire decades, an American woman had not stood on the top step of an individual Olympic podium. That's a long time to wait.
Okay, let's actually break this down, because it's wild. The last gold medal? That was Sarah Hughes way back in 2002. Alysa Liu wasn't even born yet. The last medal of any color was Sasha Cohen's silver in 2006. And after that, crickets. Nothing. 4 straight Olympic Games with 0 individual medals for the U.S. women. So yeah, to say Liu's win was monumental, that is a serious understatement.
So to understand just how she pulled this off, we have to look at the massive challenge facing the American skaters going into that final free skate. It was, without a doubt, a huge uphill battle.
And this is where the drama really gets laid out for us. After the short program, you've got Alysa Liu in third. Okay, she's right there, totally in striking distance. But then look at her teammates. Isabel Levito, she's way back in 8th place, a real long shot. And Amber Glenn, after a mistake, is all the way down in 13th. She had a mountain to climb.
Okay, before we actually get to that final skate, let's do a super quick rundown on how this whole thing is scored. I know it can look kind of complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward when you break it down.
So it really all boils down to 2 main buckets of points. You've got your technical score, which is basically for what you do, all the jumps, the spins, and then you have the program component score, which is for how you do it, the artistry, the performance, the whole vibe. So you have to be this incredible athlete and a captivating artist at the same time.
And this is the basic roadmap to a score. You go out there, you do your 7 jumps and 3 spins. The judges then grade how well you did them. That's the GOE. They add in that artistry score we just talked about, and then they take away points for any mistakes, like falling. Simple as that. Okay, now let's get back to the ice.
All right, it is time for the final skate. And for Team USA, we've got 3 different skaters, each with a very different, super high-stakes story about to unfold.
First up for the Americans was Amber Glenn. Now remember, she was way down in 13th place after a big mistake in her short program. So for her, this skate was all about one thing: redemption.
And oh, did she deliver. Glenn went out there and nailed a massive triple axel, just put down a spectacular program. Even Alysa Liu said it herself. She killed it. Her score was so huge that she just rocketed up the leaderboard and sat in first place for a massive chunk of the event. Talk about putting pressure on everyone else. Next up was 18-year-old Isabel Levito. And her story, unfortunately, turned into one of heartbreak. She had a fall on her very first jump that cost her 9 critical points. Right there, any real shot at the podium just vanished. You could see it on her face. She was just so disappointed as the scores came in.
And then it was Alysa Liu's turn. And the whole vibe just completely shifted. The broadcast team described her as looking casual and energetic, just waving to the crowd during her warm-up. And she had this huge smile on her face through her entire performance. It was a picture of pure, absolute joy.
And that joy? Well, it translated directly into this number, 150.20. It was the highest free skate score of the entire night. She didn't just skate a clean program. She, and I'm quoting here, sailed through every single jump. The crowd was just roaring with every landing. So after all of that, the drama, the redemption, the heartbreak, the joy, how did it all shake out? Where did the scores finally land?
And there it is. Alysa Liu wins the gold. Japan's Kaori Sakamoto takes the silver, and Ami Nakai gets the bronze. But you have to look at this. Amber Glenn, after that incredible redemption skate, climbed all the way from 13th place to finish in 5th. What an absolutely amazing result for her.
This victory, though, it wasn't just about the numbers on the scoreboard. It was about the person who earned them, and her totally unique, almost unprecedented journey back to the very top of the sport.
I mean, her story is just remarkable.
Think about it. She retires at just 16 years old after the Beijing Olympics, saying she was just burned out from all the pressure. But then, 2 years later, she comes back, saying she has a newfound perspective. And from there, she wins the World Championship and now Olympic gold. Wow. And her success seems to be driven by this completely new mental game. She talked about using a breathing technique to stay calm and about focusing on connecting with the crowd's energy instead of getting bogged down by the pressure to win.
You know, this comment from a fan on Reddit just perfectly sums up how it felt to watch her. It gets right to that feeling that she almost casually, without a care in the world, achieved the absolute highest honor in her sport, just fueled by this carefree attitude and pure talent.
And that same fan goes on to hit on what might be the real takeaway here. Her win isn't just a personal victory. It could actually be a blueprint, a healthier, more sustainable way to find success in a sport that is known for its intense pressure. Which, of course, leaves us with this final thought. For decades, we've thought that to be a champion, you have to have this intense, singular, almost painful focus. But Alysa Liu's whole journey asks a brand new question. Is the future of winning defined not by obsession, but by a joyful, authentic performance?